Hello, my name is Will Stokes, and thank you for joining me on my Capstone project with Savvy Coders. Before we begin, I want to give you a little bit of background information about myself. I am an Army veteran. I have a bachelor's degree from Harrisville State University in education. I have a master's degree in educational technology from the University of Missouri Columbia. I have completed a data analyst bootcamp with Savvy Coders. While completing that bootcamp, I received an Agile certification. The skills that I learned are Python, Excel, SQL, and Tableau. Some of my hobbies include traveling, reading, riding motorcycles, building things, exploring technology and AI, and fitness. Some of my future goals include working in the tech industry, utilizing my skills to help a company/team meet their goals, and continuing to increase my skills and knowledge. The introduction for this project this project is going to be on Airbnb. This company was founded in 2008. The company specializes in vacation stays that includes homes, hotels, single room rentals, tree houses, cabins, and many other types of rentals. Airbnb allows hosts to list their properties on their platform. Then the host receives money when their property is booked. This project covers data from Airbnb in the New York area only. During this project, we will explore the following questions. Which neighborhood group has the highest number of listings? What type of rooms are available? What are the average price and service fee for each neighborhood group listing? How has construction affected listing price and service fee over the years? What host has the most reviews? And does host verified or instant bookable listings affect host ratings? Some of the methods that I used during this project. I use Python, SQL, Agile, and Tableau. Let's look at some of the Python syntax that I used. So we're going to scroll to the top. First, I imported pandas, imported NumPy, imported matplotlib and VS Code. Then I imported the actual CSV file with the data that I need. I use df head just to kind of get just a small overview of the different columns, number of columns, first beginning 5 rows in the data. I use df info to get more information on the data, like data type, column, nulls, null counts, things like that. I use the syntax to view if there are any duplicates. This is the amount of duplicates that are found in the data. I use the syntax right here to actually drop those duplicates and remove them from the data. Then I decided to get rid of some of the columns that I wasn't going to use when I was during the analyzing process. These are some of the columns that I got rid of. This syntax right here actually gets rid of places in the data that have missing values or nulls. Then I just kind of reviewed the data again to make sure the changes took place. Right here, this syntax was used to remove the $ and comma from 2 of the columns. Right here, I actually changed the data type in these columns. And then I use df info to make sure that the changes took place. And you can see right here, the changes took place in those 3 areas that I changed. Right here, I just wanted to do like a quick overview of the data, do some quick visualizations using matplotlib. So I just used the syntax to create a data frame with the total count of room types. Here's that data frame. Then I use the syntax right here, matplotlib, to actually make a quick bar graph. You can see that entire home and private room have the 2 highest counts in the listings. Then I use the syntax right here just to make a quick data frame of the listing counts per neighborhood group. And again, I use the same syntax to make a quick bar chart. You can see that Brooklyn and Manhattan have the 2 highest listing counts for the neighborhood group. And this right here, this is actually something that we're going to correct in SQL. There was one instance where Brooklyn was not capitalized. Then I created everything into a CSV and I imported it into SQL. Right here is the SQL syntax that I use. I use select all to view all of the data. Then I use this syntax right here to correct that one instance where Brooklyn was lowercase and it needed to be capital. And then I just use select all again to view the change that I made using SQL. And then I created a CSV file from SQL and I imported that CSV file into Tableau. During this project, the agile methods that I use were Scrum. I use sprint planning, backlog, sprint reviews, stand-ups, product owner / manager. Now we're going to go ahead and get into the actual data. The first question that we're going to look at and explore is which neighborhood group has the highest number of listings. If you look at this data right here, you'll see that I created a map with plot points in Tableau and also created a bar chart with the total count of listings per neighborhood group. This map is interactive. So we can see Staten Island has the smallest amount of listings. Next is Queens, second highest. And then we have Manhattan, it's the third highest. And then we move on to Brooklyn, which has the most. And then we move on to the Bronx. Our next question that we're going to explore is what type of rooms are available. If you look at this data right here, you can see that I created a small bar chart with each room type. Then within each room type is each neighborhood group. You can see that entire home / apartments, the highest count is Manhattan and Brooklyn. The lowest count is Staten Island. Hotel rooms, you can see that Manhattan has the most hotel rooms and Brooklyn has the least. You can also see that the Bronx and Staten Island do not have any hotel rooms listed on Airbnb. Private room, you can see that Brooklyn and Manhattan have the two highest counts. Staten Island has the smallest for private room. In shared room, you can see that Manhattan and Brooklyn again have the two highest counts, and Staten Island has the smallest count for shared rooms. This square graph at the bottom shows the availability, the number of days and availability of each room type per neighborhood group. So here's the room types and here's the neighborhood groups. And if you just want to explore the data, you can see that, again, the Bronx and Staten Island don't have any hotels. Manhattan and Queens have the highest availability for hotel rooms. Shared rooms, the Queens have the highest number availability for shared rooms. The Bronx has the highest number availability for entire rooms, and Staten Island has the highest number availability for private rooms. Moving on to our next question. What are the average price and service fee for each neighborhood group? Here in Tableau, I made two bubble graphs and I made two line graphs. The two bubble graphs list the neighborhood group average price. So it just has a list of the average price per neighborhood group. And you can see that the average price doesn't really have a lot of separation. It's just maybe several dollars difference in average price. The average service fee per neighborhood group also just within several dollars difference. This chart right here, it lists the neighborhood groups, but it lists the average price and service fee for each neighborhood within those neighborhood groups. So Queens, Bronx, Brooklyn, Manhattan, and Staten Island. This chart is interactive as well. So if you wanted to look at a certain area, like if we wanted to look at Castle Hill in the Bronx, we can just click Castle Hill and then we can come over. We can see the average price, $308, average service fee, $61.63 per listing in Castle Hill, and so forth and so on. If we wanted to look at Brooklyn Heights, you can click Brooklyn Heights in Brooklyn, same thing. You can see the average price and service fee. So moving on, how has construction affected listing price and service fee over the years? So I just made two line graphs. This data is from 2003 to 2022. If you look at the data for average price, average service fee, from 2003 to 2022, you can see that it fluctuates a little bit, but not by very much, again, within several dollars over those years for average price. And the same thing for average service fee. It just fluctuates within several dollars over those years. So construction really, over the years, really didn't have that much effect on average price and service fee. All right, what host has the most reviews? I created a quick bar chart in Tableau. You can see that this host right here, Michael, he has the most reviews with 24,000 reviews. You can see that this host, David, has the second highest number of reviews at 17,361. And this host, John, has 15,134 reviews. Now, this data had thousands of hosts, but I just limited to the top 10. This next question right here, does host verified or instant bookable listings affect host ratings? I was very interested to explore this. This right here, this is just kind of just like a square graph, and this is a bar graph. But you can see right here that host verified and host unconfirmed. Host unconfirmed had 1.357 million ratings total, and host verified had 1.342 million ratings total. So host unconfirmed actually had more reviews total than host verified, which is very interesting. This bar chart, it shows the average rating for instant bookable versus not instant bookable. So false is not instant bookable and true is instant bookable. And you can see that the average rating is still the same out of 5. It's 3.28 for both. And that concludes that presentation. So future steps. So the next steps I would like to take with this data is I would like to explore more of the host data for average price, average service fee, total number of listings, total number of listings being booked. And I would like to see how that affects the number of listings and the average price and average service fee for the host data. I would actually like to get more Airbnb data in different cities like California, Florida, and compare those to New York City. During the process of this presentation, some of the challenges that I faced was actually working with Python and wrangling and cleaning the data and making sure that the syntax was correct. I also faced some challenges with using Tableau. Those challenges included just making sure that I was using the proper formulas and making sure that I was using the proper data types and putting the data in the correct places to create the visualizations that I wanted to in Tableau. But that is the end of my presentation. And again, thank you for watching my presentation.